Okay, everyone, Avengers Infinity War ended with a real shocker, and one last spoiler warning, guys. You really have had plenty of time to see it. Thanos actually uses the Infinity Gauntlet to snap away half the universe and to break the hearts of everyone who loves Spider-Man and Black Panther and the one guy who's really into Mantis. But if you were watching closely, right after Thanos returns from Soul World and zips away from Thor, the post-snap Infinity Gauntlet looks cracked and smoky and overcooked. Now, there's some debate over whether or not you can see Thanos wearing the gauntlet later. But in the final shot of the movie, if you were looking more closely, you can kind of see Thanos' armor hanging up off to the side. So he does have some of the stuff. It's a nod to the Infinity Gauntlet comics where Thanos retires on a farm and hangs up his armor on a scarecrow. It's kind of fun. But this smoky shot brings up a question. Is the Infinity Gauntlet broken now? Of course, Thanos could still open up a portal and escape from Thor, which required the Space Stone, but can he use the Infinity Stones in combination ever again?
He did mess up his arm pretty bad, it looked like, even like above it.
Yeah. Well, you point out something interesting there, because when you look at the movie, it's like, why are we spending so much time on Thor getting another hammer? Like, that feels like a real, like, just something we could have, like, streamlined, as entertaining as it is, because I like Thor with Rocket and Groot. But maybe we find out that the people that built the hammer also built the gauntlet, so maybe the stones are fine, but we need another mechanism, which actually looked like there was one sitting there, another mechanism to use it. Maybe that's why they went through the trouble of introducing it, because it'll matter in the next movie.
Yeah, real quick, I think, I'm not sure on this, but I feel like the thing that we see there is the mold for the gauntlet that they do make. But I do think that also means, like, we could make another one. But I think Eric's point is the one that I'm abiding by right now. They can't, right now in its current state, it can't do it again.
Yeah, it cannot snap.
Maybe
it's
one at a time
go.
it can be used, but the idea of putting the Power Stone behind the, like the I guess the Soul Stone maybe is the one that's like wiping the universe out or whatever, but the thing that is enhancing the other ones, that's probably what broke it and overloaded it.
Yeah.
So I feel like, he might not.
Yeah, the stones can't be used in tandem. Like we saw in some of the battles, like he's using both the Reality Stone and the Space Stone at the same time, or he'll use the Space Stone to like phase shift Hulk into a mountain and the Power Stone to like punch Captain America out of the way. He can't do these things at the same time, at least anymore. And arguably the stones could be separated now.
Theoretically. And I would argue that I do think it's got to be relevant that we saw it so damaged, because from a writing perspective, that's a fascinating situation to put yourselves in as the Russo brothers. Another brother team, the Coen brothers, famously had this rule where they would write a situation for their characters that was so difficult to figure out how they're going to solve this, that if they could, as the writers, come up with a solution within 2 weeks, they were like, well, then this isn't hard enough. And they would make it even worse on their characters. So I feel like the idea that like, we're all like, oh, well, you could just get the gauntlet off his arm and do it. They're like, okay, so let's break the gauntlet. Like, let's give ourselves as many problems as we can, just so that in this year that we have of waiting, none of us are like, I know how he does it.
Yeah. You know what? You know what it's 100% going to be? It's going to be their version.
I know how he does it.
It's going to be they're going to introduce a version of the Infinity Watch. Like, how many Avengers are left from the original team? 6.
6, yeah.
Each one gets a stone. They have to use it in tandem to undo the thing. So you're not using the mechanism.
Can you go into detail here?
So they all are holding one. They push the beams together, and then
Captain Planet.
Captain Planet.
Exactly.
That's what it is. And it's Don Cheadle. It is Don Cheadle. He's like, guys, what are you doing? He gets sucked into the little beam, and he pops out as Captain Planet.
So that might not be it, but it wouldn't surprise me if this is the mechanism that they use to introduce something close to Infinity Watch, and it would be these characters, because a lot of them, they're not going to keep paying Robert Downey Jr. the money they're paying him.
Yeah,
can you
explain what the reference you're making?
So in the comics, because the Infinity Stones are so dangerous when brought together, they're divided up amongst a group of cosmic individuals, most of which we haven't seen. Drax and Gamora are in there. Adam Warlock is a part of it. You might have heard about him in talks with Guardians. And then Moondragon, which is a version of Drax's daughter, which is
much more
seriously.
interesting.
If you go into like 60s, 70s cosmic Marvel, it's super confusing.
Here, actually adapt that to another team, not really, but that people want is Illuminati, because they did the same thing.
Yeah.
And we got a little taste of Illuminati in some conversations in this, of like, I was like, oh, I love these potential conversations that could happen, especially if they get Professor X.
In one of the Avengers teams, because they always like revamp it every couple months, but you find out that Black Bolt, Professor X, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and a couple other like big leaders for different teams in Marvel hid Infinity Stones. in different places, but mostly on Earth, which was not a great idea in that story. But it does make it very interesting, so you could get like a version of that.
Yeah, that would make more sense with the characters we've been introduced to.
Yeah, so in that scenario, it'd be what, Black Panther, Tony Stark, Doctor Strange.
After they've used it, if theoretically once they fix everything. Although I do think I would be shocked if we come out of this movie with both Iron Man and Cap fine.
I think Cap's done.
I think
they both like have such good reasons to leave at this point.
But Robert Downey Jr. seems like he likes it more.
But I think what's good to point out is not only is the Infinity Gauntlet looking fried and broken, meaning that they can't do another snap. It means to me that this can't be reversed that simply. It's not like this is what if this was a light switch, it couldn't be flipped back off. You know. So I think it is critical, not just like, oh, the thread is over, but like the way to fix the thread or reverse the thread is no longer an option.
It's going to take at least 3 hours to figure out, I'll tell you that.
Oh boy.
Slightly less, but
and like 20
Maybe
new characters
more.
that they'll introduce in Ant-Man and Captain Marvel probably. Well, let us know what your theories about the status of the Infinity Gauntlet are in the comments below, and what different implications it being possibly broken are. And a reminder to like this video, subscribe to New Rockstars for all of our Infinity War deep dives. Thanks, everybody.